Okay. Well, welcome everyone. This is a really auspicious date. I don't know whether you've noticed, but it's the second day of the second month of the 22nd year of the century. It's auspicious in other ways too. Apparently, the publication of Ulysses was launched on this day 100 years ago by a very prophetic woman called Sylvia Beach. When all the publishers had turned Joyce down, a woman stepped in and published him. And she just had a little bookshop, a bit like Wally's bookshop, I think, a small little place in any event. And she took a risk when nobody else would. So we'll honor her for taking the risk with Ulysses. It's the day after Bridget's Day, and that was important to us because we felt that being a women's magazine, it's good to actually launch it to the world on a day that's, or at a time when it's auspicious for women. A big thank you, first of all, to Wally O'Neill at Red Books, who's an amazing publisher. Red Books Press, prepared to take a risk in so many ways. And the risk that he took with this concept paid off, I think. We hope so. And so Wexford Women Writing Undercover owe a great deal to Wally's risk-taking and his amazing marketing. Lots of you have been helping with that, with pictures of yourselves promoting this magazine. The biggest thank you of all to all of the contributors. We're absolutely nothing without what you sent to us. Writing and illustrations, all coming together to make what I think is a great publication. Particular thanks to Rachel Druitt. I don't know if Rachel's here tonight. Grace O'Reilly and Ellen Lohan, Lordan Lohier. Ellen, sorry. They worked so hard on sorting out the contributions and helping to put this together. And another thanks to Rachel, Zeph, and finally Ursula, who's here tonight, who formatted the work for Colm at Practical Printers. Colm did tell me he was coming. I don't know whether he's on, is he, Wally? Big call out anyway for Practical Printers. They're absolutely wonderful local print shop and so easy and so professional to work with. So thank you to them. I'm going to introduce you to Laura Way, who wrote the foreword for this edition, and ask her if she would officially launch this magazine, and then several people have volunteered to read, and I'll be calling on you, and then we're going to hear from the cover artist, Madeline O'Rourke. I don't know if Madeline is in. Oh, she's waving to me. Hi, Madeline. Madeline's going to have a little talk about the picture, which graces the front cover, and how that came about. And I think we're going to have a visit too from Alanna Hammel, who's going to speak just briefly about Wexford women writers generally. And then we're going to close the evening with a song from our multi-talented formatter, Ursula, who also sings and who's in an incredible venue, self-made, with her own paintings at the back, and it just looks amazing. So hopefully we're going to have a great night together, and you're all going to revel in being part of this magazine, and something really new that's hit the bookshelves in Wexford. So over to you, Laura. Laura's an award-winning film director, but you know, she's Wexford's own girl. We're just really delighted that she's here in Wexford and that she's actually able to launch the magazine for us. And I think Laura and her sister Abigail, who contributed, are particularly pleased that they've actually done a sister act in this magazine, and we're delighted for them. So over to you, Laura.
Yeah, well, it is, I have to say, it is extremely special for me, and not only I felt very honoured to have been asked to launch the second edition of the Wexford Women Writing Undercover, but also as Deirdre mentioned, the fact that my sister and I are publishing for the first time together. So that's very special to me. I just want to say I met Deirdre and her husband Ed a number of years ago when I was at a play upstairs at Fusion Cafe, Jerry's amazing theatre cafe that's very sorely missed. And I was so struck by Ed that I cast him in a pilot that I was working on. I had little budget, but had incredible support from both Ed and Deirdre and the Wexford community. And every time I see them, they seem to be doing something extraordinary and humanitarian and changing the world for the better and giving those who are marginalized a voice. You really are incredible. And we're so lucky that you've chosen Wexford as your home and the place where you're making things happen. I know that there are a number of people involved who've made this magazine happen, and so I'm probably going to be repeating a little bit what Deirdre said, but perhaps and I'm sure we'll learn more about them. But as it was put, and I thought I kind of had a little laugh when I said those who bravely assisted, was Rachel Druitt, Grace O'Reilly, Ellen, Lordan, Lohier, I'm so sorry, Lohier, yeah, and the stunning cover image by Madeline O'Rourke, and a big thank you, of course, to Wally O'Neill and the Wexford Writers Town Treasure, who's making it possible for writers to publish their own work and giving them a secure and encouraging environment to house and showcase and sell their work. So thanks, Wally. Besides that striking image that's on the cover of the second edition of Wexford Women Writing Undercover, what makes this magazine so uniquely special is that it really is not prescriptive. It opens its arms to each individual writer and their individual pieces and styles, and it offers the writer total freedom of expression. It could be recounting the experience of spending the day with a hardworking farmer, with a joie de vivre, or it could be words of wisdom, advice on how to achieve balance in everyday life, or a piece of prose that captures a moment in time, a reflection of balance in nature. It could be a poem or freeform writing in which we identify with a woman who questions her worth in a relationship, or identify with aloneness or loneliness in ourselves. And in our solitude of writing or reading, the written word is the very essence of actually a universal connection. From Sadie Harpur's There's Things I Want to Tell You to Susan Doran's The Prism of Light, a moment in time with a sting in the tail, delivered with such poetic detail. Wexford Women Writing Undercover embraces all different writing forms, showcasing the ultimate in freedom of expression and original voices, some heard before and others who are just taking their maiden voyage in this publication. So balance was the theme, and as I mentioned in the foreword, I'm no authority on balance, but I think I've very rarely achieved it, and the balance comes for me in the great loves of my life and those people who support me encourage and trust me. And that comes in the form of my family and my friends, my work colleagues, even influential figures that I've never met who inspire me. A creative path inherently brings imbalance, but being a woman on the creative path can bring additional social pressures and family pressures and extremely high doses of imposter syndrome, which I'm sure many of us are familiar with. But as writers, it's also part of our experience, and you, the writers, have experienced it and you've wrote about it, or you've created an escape from it through your words. I was, and still not as much as I used to, but I used to feel the fear. But one of my favorite expressions is feel the fear and do it anyway. We can reframe the fear and the anxiety, and we can turn it to excitement. We can take the self-criticism and we can turn it to constructive criticism. We can learn more, read more, observe more, disappear into our imagination more, and write more. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be better, but don't misplace your originality for conformity either. It's like, they say it's all been said before, but no one has ever said it the way that you will say it. And this publication demonstrates that. It demonstrates the wealth of female writing talent we have in Wexford, and the need for this magazine, and the love, kindness, and the intention to create a community of writers, a platform to showcase their work, encouragement for new and established writers, and visibility. Most importantly, visibility. When women see other women taking that leap, facing their fear, be it rejection or criticism, and doing it anyway, it gives them courage to do it too. And having more women's voices in literature, film, TV, music, and all the creative industries is about visibility. If it's not published, if we don't hire them, then we are silencing them. So finally, I'd like to congratulate everyone who made this happen, every single one of the writers and artist illustrators who've been published in the second edition of Wexford Women Writing Undercover. So I'd like to finally make sure that you're all visible. To all of the writers, that's Deirdre McGarry, Frances MacDonald, Grace O'Reilly, Sam Freegrove, Anna Stafford, Grace O'Reilly, Susan Dorn, Ellen Lordan Lohier, Teresa O'Hara, Abigail Way, Teresa Jones, Lillian White Weaver, Niamh McAvoy, Margaret Galvin, Mary O'Gorman, Irene Allen, Ita Grattan, Sadie Harpur, Rachel Druitt, Tojo, Jean Rourke, Saoirse Wadding-Hayes, Anonymous, Sheena Morgan, Helena Murray, Joan Morrissey, Trish Kavanagh, Clodagh Nugent, Fabia Evans, Elizabeth Murphy, Lisa Essler, Lucy Furlong, Juliana Menezes, Nolene Foley, Terry Flynn, Eileen Atchison, Paula Malone Carty, Joanne McCarthy, Deirdre McGarry, Mary O'Brien, Mary T. Blackburn, Helen Kavanagh, Jacinta Cloney, Caroline Stevens-Taylor, Ciara Connolly, Miriam A. Walker, Eileen O'Dwyer, and our illustrators are, sorry, I have to go to the next one, Madeline O'Rourke, Mary Keane, is it Iona Friedman Morris, Kate McSharry, Olivia Sultana, and that's it. So congratulations, everybody. I can't wait to read the second edition. Is incredible work. There's a serious amount of talent in Wexford. Thank you for asking me to launch this second edition. I'm extremely proud to have done so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you. And of course, some of those writers were illustrators as well, which is, there's several writers who illustrated both their own work and other people's. So congratulations. I'm going to call next on Grace O'Reilly. Grace is an absolute Trojan worker. She stays up into all hours of the day and night writing, and she worked exceptionally hard on this edition. She's so conscientious, and I've really appreciated everything that she brought to this edition. Grace wrote a book review, the poem which is on the back of the book, and I think some kind of life tips about balance. So I'm going to call on Grace. I think everybody knows Grace around Red Books because she contributes so much. So welcome, Grace.
Hi, thank you, Deirdre. Thank you for those lovely kind words, and congratulations to everyone else who was fortunate enough to be in the book, contributed to the book, and for making it happen. I'm going to read a piece here now that I wrote called The Balance of Life. Firstly, what is the meaning of balance? It is simply that the distribution aspects of something. That can be time, weight, money, exercise, food, sleep, relaxation. The list is endless. I am going to discuss the balance of life in this piece. What we do, think, say, eat, feel, they all require awareness. Through awareness, we can grow, like koi fresco. Balanced living is crucial to adhere to as best as is humanly possible. We will all have our days and periods of time where there isn't an equal balance distributed ideally in certain areas for whatever reason. However, it is a good practice to try however, it is a good practice to try and something that we can do and will enhance your life for the better and possibly the people who you associate with. Mind, body, and spirit need to be taken care of. Let's start with looking at your body. You only get one body, and once that goes, you're it rhymes with duct. Well then, you don't really have another one to climb into, do you? Your body is your temple, according to a Google search. The Apostle Paul said this. When the Apostle Paul wrote the words, your body is a temple, to the church in Corinth, he was saying this: you no longer have to go to a building, an ornate, gilded temple built with your blood, toil, and sacrifice in order to meet your God. Exercise is needed to keep you fit and healthy. It is not just a form of, from a vanity point of view, although it's nice to glide rather than squeeze into a pair of jeans. If you're underweight, your heart will have problems, low pressure, and this is as bad as high blood pressure. In fact, sometimes it can be worse. It makes you weak, lethargic, faint, to name just a few. Being overweight, again, there is a host of negatives from, again, heart problems, diabetes, bad lung capacity, and feeling breathless. When you can't put on your own shoes and socks, you need to address it. Eating nutritious food that will replenish yourself. It is important to eat the correct portion sizes and to drink enough water. Of course, we are all human, so it is important to not feel deprived, making meals that you enjoy. Treats are important to have, and get that takeaway, have that glass of wine or that bar of chocolate. Just be mindful about it. Life is indeed for living, but balance and moderation are key. Sleep. Most people do not get the recommended sleep that is suggested to keep you going. Too much screen time and copious amounts of sugar and caffeine contribute to this problem. Sleep is needed as it does an awful lot of positives to our body. When we sleep at different sleep stages during the sleep cycle period, it is believed that your body activates all the skin and body repairing magic between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Maybe we could ask the Sandman. Unwinding, relaxing, and fun are equally just as important. Laughter is, after all, the best medicine. It is nice to spend time with loved ones over a cup of tea or a meal out. Playing with your children can be bliss, bringing out the inner child in yourself. Peter Pan never grew up. Everybody should have an inner child besides them, inside themselves somewhere. Life is for living and for enjoying. You don't see too many children worried about money, housework, deadlines. So every now and then we should switch on child mode button and just press play. Reading a book you love, or watching the television, gaming, or whatever makes you happy and feel good about yourself, you should do. Onto the mind. Mindfulness is not just a trend thing. It is a real important thing. To appreciate the little things in life, a cake a friend made you, or a picture a child scribbled especially for you. Take a moment, savor the cake's flavor and really look at that picture. If you look really hard at the colorful scribbles, you can see a dog chasing a tennis ball. Stress is needed to give people the drive needed to do things. However, too much stress is not good. Take time to breathe, do yoga, listen to music, run a bath with a face mask and a cup of herbal tea, great before bed to help get those Zeds in. Yoga, reflexology and massage can all do wonders for alleviating stress. Eating, well, makes you feel better mentally too. Certain foods promote dopamine, which is the happy feeling, as does a good night's sleep or a bit of you time. Meeting up with loved ones and doing nice things, or simply chatting, can do wonders for your head. Running, walking, cycling, swimming, and so on, just like food, can trigger happy feeling chemicals in the brain. This can be done solo or with a pal. Even a canine pal will happily keep you company as you exercise in the fresh air, surrounded by nature and taking in the senses, the smell of freshly cut grass, the birdies chirping happily in the trees. Lastly, the soul or the spirit needs care. The soul is your life's driver's seat. It is the invisible force within you that gives you the power and the oomph to do something. Your soul is your passion, your fire, and where your beliefs stem from. It could be the sun and the moon. It could be fairies, or it could be angels, robins, or butterflies. Philosophers support the ethereal viewpoint of spirituality is usually religion-based. Many religions encourage you to try to connect with your God through your soul. Balance is finding the secret in life that is right for you. Life and balance are like a bicycle, in that you need to balance on your bike and keep moving to go forwards, the same is said for life. Finding the balance and keep moving on your journey in the cycle of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Well, Grace is up in the north of the county, but Ellen, who helped on this edition, she brought her quiet, cool, wise poetry head. And it was absolutely lovely to have her input. I knew Ellen through a writing group that we both belong to, and it was an extra pleasure to have her involved in this magazine. So Ellen, I think, is in Spain at the moment.
Yes.
And I'm going to say welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Hola, buenas. Good to see you too, Deirdre and Ed. Thank you.
Over to you.
Great, thank you. Yes, as Grace and Laura said before me, I was very happy and proud to participate in the preparation of this edition of Wexford Women Writing Undercover. I did my little bit as best I could, and I was very happy to do so, and well done to everybody involved. I also was lucky enough to have 2 poems accepted for publication in this edition. and I'm going to read one of them now. The theme, as we said earlier, was balance. So I find that when life throws me a curveball and pushes me off balance and I'm off kilter, the best way for me to regain balance is to get out into nature. And I love doing that in my own garden. I'm not a great gardener, but I keep trying. I spend a lot of time pulling weeds and cutting grass and planting things that don't necessarily grow very well, but I persist. So that's where I find my balance. I'm missing that garden here in Spain, but I'm putting pots out on the terrace and trying to find balance as I can. So the first poem, and it's in the magazine, is called Garden. Here goes. My haven, my refuge, my nest. Fresh and green, cool and fragrant. You carry me, you cradle me, you soothe my soul. Warm soil between my fingers, light breeze at my neck, sweet summer scent of honeysuckle and lavender, like a memory of old pillowcases. My body bears signs of our communion, bits of leaves and twigs in my hair, fingers stained green and nails brown, limbs striated by briars. You bear signs of my labor, grass cut, flowers blooming, leaves raked and raspberries ripening, fences painted and hedges trimmed. I want to tidy you, but never to tame you. I love your wild nature, the willfulness of your weeds and exploring reaches of your branches. Your imperfections are my imperfections. Your irrepressible spirit is my irrepressible spirit. We nurture each other, help each other grow. Equilibrium, our greatest gift to each other. So that's for garden. And because I love, thank you, because I love nature so much and find my equilibrium in it, I have two very short little poems, again, with the theme of nature. This one I thought of just yesterday, the day before, the last day of January. And I wrote it a couple of years ago. I stepped out of the car after work one evening and in January, and the birds were just amazing. They were singing their little hearts out and it felt like spring. So here goes, bird song in January. You sing sunshine and long, lazy evenings. You sing soft light and balmy breezes. You sing flower scents and smoking charcoal. You sing laughter and low mumblings. You sing golden skin and sparkling serenata, and I am transported. Okay, and finally, my third and last poem this evening is again a nature poem. It's Forget Me Not. Forget Me Nots always remind me of my dad, who left us in 2010 and who I think of very often and miss terribly. So when I see the Forget Me Nots arriving in the garden, I have a special thought for him. So here is Forget Me Not. I see forever in a flower, from seed to shoot to bloom. I see survival in a shower, and sun's heat can't come too soon. A tiny blue heartbeat counting down the winter grey, eager to rise and meet the welcoming warmth of May. Anchored loosely in stony ground, with delicate tendrils of steel, sipping sweet droplets deep found and clinging to life with such zeal. I see eternity in a flower, from root to stem to petal. I see rebirth in a shower and am humbled by its metal. That's it, folks. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ellen. We envy you in the Spanish sunshine. Now we're in for a real treat next. I'm going to call on Lillian Whyte Weaver. Now, Lillian was 13 when she submitted this poem to us. So she's our youngest contributor, and I wanted her to come on early so that she would be able to relax and enjoy all the readers who came after her. So is Lillian around? Lillian actually won a poetry prize with this poem. I think it was broadcast on the radio. She writes songs, and she's also the co-founder with her dad of Wexford Skater Kids. So if this is Lillian at 13, I can't imagine what she's going to be when she's a full-grown woman. Just watch out, world. Is Lillian around? Hi.
Hi.
You're most welcome. Would you like to read us your poem, Lillian?
I would, thank you.
Thank you.
So I wrote this poem called The 21st Century about lockdown, and it was kind of what was happening around me. So I'll just get into it. So the 21st century. Lockdown, a word we know all too well since March 2020 when it all fell. The deep hole we all got put in and the minds we all just want to throw in the bin. Trying to study while mom's on Zoom, talking about how the finance will go boom. Once you're done listening to the squeaks and screams of your teacher's Wi-Fi, you sit in bed and you start to cry. The world breaking right under our feet, masks tearing just like a sheet. The protest by people wanting their rights while women are trying not to fight the people that are ruining their life. Words being sexualized in every single way. My God, is this a game we have to play? People are feeling forgotten. Is this the life we have to live in? Victims of inappropriate crimes are screaming and shouting, wanting to be heard, while the people who did it still walk the earth. One day I will tell my children about the life we had to live in, where colored people fought for what's right, where just to love someone you had to fight. I hope when I tell them there will be flying cars and new superstars. If I have a boy, I will teach him how to treat a girl. If he wants to love another gender, I will never put him up to slender. If I have a girl, I will teach her how to survive so she can come home and still be alive. From walking to school or to the park so she can live a life and not fall apart. If she wants to love another gender, same with the boy, she shall not be up to slender. I will support them with both my heart till death do us part. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Wonderful. And then Lillian writes her own songs, so look out for her on the Wexford scene. Thank you. Now I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of what you're going to hear. It's a great pleasure next to introduce you to Madeline O'Rourke. I got to know Madeline through this magazine, and I'd seen a picture that she did, which was actually the copy of the first, it was the front cover of the first magazine. And I tracked her down and it began an instant friendship. And it's been one of the wonderful delights to flow from actually having done this magazine to have made such a good friend. I asked Madeline if she would talk about what was going on in her mind as she painted this amazing front cover, which has really seemed to grab people. And I know when you walk in the shop, it just jumps out at you. So it's doing the job brilliantly to promoting this magazine. So Madeline, welcome. Would you like to just tell us what was going on in your head when you were painting this amazing woman?
Hey, Deirdre. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Hey, Deirdre, thank you so much. I feel very, very honoured to be part of such a fantastic group of strong women. I just feel very honoured to represent so many beautiful, strong women, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do it. I think my mind when I was painting it, we had discussed the colors and the oranges. But as I started the painting, I was considering balance, and I was thinking of the balance within us, the male and the female. And as I started to paint the two figures, the name sovereignty came to my mind, and that represented being whole and being complete as a person. And I think as we move through life, we give parts of ourselves away. We give parts of ourselves away in different situations to different people, part of ourselves we don't like, part of ourselves that doesn't make sense to us. And as I was painting it, all of those thoughts came in, and I thought, and I painted the woman. And in it, she has embodied all of those parts. She has brought all of those parts back to herself, to bring herself back to her own sovereignty. And I think in it as well, she's completely at peace in that painting, and she's completely at home with herself, and she doesn't have to look outside herself anymore for validation. And that's where that painting took me. Deirdre, I feel that's what it moved inside me, and I think that's it. It brought me to fantastic places in myself, even painting it. You know, so thank you very, very much for that opportunity.
Thanks, Madeline. And I know the picture's behind you in the house. It's a very big picture, and oh, there she is. She's going to move it. There it is.
It's probably, there's a bit of a reflection on it.
Yes. There is a picture of Madeline with the picture on Redbook's Facebook page, but it's a very, it really grabs you. It's a powerful picture, and we were honoured. Thank you, Madeline. And thanks for sharing what it was about.
Thank you, Deirdre. You're very, very welcome.
Okay, I'm going to call on Sadie Harpur next. If Sadie is with us today, I'm not sure, is she?
Hi, Deirdre.
Hi, Sadie. Sadie sent us some really powerful stuff, which are some excerpts from it was a forthcoming book. I don't know, Sadie, whether it's been actually published yet, has it?
No, not yet. We're still working on it. Jackie Hayden from Hot Press magazine, and he's there tonight. Hi, Jackie. Between the two of us, we're both kind of working on it. So yeah, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So we're not really in any big hurry. So it's a bit of fun as well.
And it's from the shadows to the light when it comes out.
Shadows into light, yeah.
Okay, so look out for it, folks. So I'm going to ask Sadie if she'd like to read something that she contributed to the magazine. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, Deirdre, for having us. So my poem is called There's Things I Want to Tell You. So this particular poem was about I grew up in foster care and with two lovely foster parents, but it was kind of trying to balance two different lives between my birth family, my foster family, between all the upheaval that comes with it, and kind of wanting to say things, and you're trying to protect people and you can't say things, and also being dyslexic as well. I found it hard to articulate and get things on paper and to say things. So this is what my poem is about. So there's things I want to tell you. There's things I want to tell you. There's things I can't tell you. There's things I want to tell you that I can't, but I want to tell you. There's things I need to tell you, but I won't. Of fear of hurting those that truly matter. There's things I don't need to tell you, but I will. And there's things that shouldn't happen that do. There's things that people say that aren't true. There's things people do aren't real. There are things we love and are fake, and there's things we share that fall apart. Sometimes we hide from the truth because it's a safer option. There are things we do to help others. There are things we do to help others who don't want to be helped. There's things we do to help people who don't want our advice. There are things we do to help others who throw it back in our faces. There's things we do because it's the right thing to do. There's things we do to feel real. There's things we do to fly high. There's things I feel that I wish I can't feel. There's things I don't want to feel, but I do. And there's things I block out, but still feel. There's things I fear but can't run away from. There's things I faced, but I've survived. There's things that happen to us that make us who we are today. There's things that happen that makes us more vulnerable. There's things that change us. There's things we should appreciate that we don't. And there's things I wish I said, but I didn't. There's things I wish I could take back, but I can't. There's things we take for granted and wonder why. There's things I wish I could change, but I can't. There's things I love with all my heart. There's things I hold on to for fear of losing the ones I love. There are things that are beautiful to me, but maybe not to you. But to me, they are. I try to see the good in everyone. If I could save the world, I would. There's things we need to believe in to have hope and climb whatever mountain we need to stay alive. Breathe deep and hold on to each other. Oh my God, I never took myself off mute. Uh-oh.
I can hear you, Sadie. I think other people could. Yes, thumbs are going up. You were.
Was I on mute all the time?
No, we've all heard you. No problem. No problem.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Just for one sentence, you must have accidentally turned it on. But you were grand, we heard all of it.
I was like, oh God, don't tell me I have to do that again.
I think we'd have all been waving at you, but we wouldn't have let you go that long, so don't worry. And thank you so much. So much that was resonating there, I'm sure, for everybody. And good luck when the book comes out.
Thanks a million. I'm just waving to all my family. Everyone's there.
Okay.
I feel like a celebrity. Hi.
You are a celebrity. Now, is Mary Blackburn on? Mary, are you with us? Is Mary on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ah, there you are. Good to see you, Mary.
Hi, Deirdre.
No, Mary. Mary's a Wexford girl through and through. And,
born and bred, is this?
Born and bred, and
Born and bred.
she's a stalwart round Red Books, and I'm delighted to say that she has agreed to help out with the next edition. And so welcome on board, Mary. I know that we're going to enjoy what we do.
Please God, we will. Yeah.
And I introduced Mary to Madeline. I didn't know why, and it turned out that they had so much in common. It was unbelievable. So a terrible threesome was created.
Have you lost me there, Deirdre? Because I've lost you.
Yes, I have. There's a kind of blur on your screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, I can read anyway. You don't have to watch me.
You can read anyway. Okay.
I'll be quick. So again, thanks for the opportunity. This poem came to me after a very languid afternoon that I spent with what will now be my future daughter-in-law, the lovely Laura. And it was soon after my mother had passed away, and I had been busy caring for her. And so now I suddenly found myself, with a whole afternoon to enjoy. So are you still with me, Deirdre?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right. So I will
And you're
further.
with us.
Okay. So I've just a blank screen at the moment, so it's probably better for my nerves. So this poem anyway is called Equilibrium. I never before sat in these seats on the pavement outside Conmacken's, drinking shandy in the sun. Many's the time I scudded past those idlers, rushing back to work, a busybody. Now I too have nothing to do. I noticed the elders, feeble, some with walkers, some with sticks, arm-linked by others, attempting to cross the street, shuffling into the solicitors or the opticians, keeping their balance by keeping going, not standing still, determined. Reclining, I take another sip, continuing to keep my equilibrium by deciding to sit.
Beautiful, thank you.
You're all very welcome, and it's lovely to be part of this.
They're very precious afternoons like that, aren't
they? At the time, there were very few and far between.
Just while we're talking about the next edition, the closing date for submissions is February the 14th. The plan is for the next edition to come out in May so that we can get 2 editions in the year. And the theme is Under Pressure. And if you want submission guidelines, perhaps Wally might put up in the chat for me. The Gmail address is undercoverwex@gmail.com if you want submission guidelines. So it's still plenty of time to get those in for February the 14th, and we look forward to receiving them. I already had some absolutely cracking material. The theme really seems to have drawn out some powerful writing. So we welcome more, please. So sisters, we're doing it together. So welcome to Abigail. Abigail Way, sister to Laura. And it was a pleasure to have a submission from Abigail, if she's there. Is Abigail with us?
Sorry, Deirdre, I was trying to unmute myself for ages.
Oh, right.
Hi.
Hello there.
Hi,
You
how
can
are
see
you?
the family likeness.
Thanks.
Good to have you.
Oh,
so Abigail is very actively involved in creative arts, Red Moon Creative Arts Theatre. She's the creative director of Red Moon Creative Arts Theatre. And I think you're doing a really challenging show at the moment, aren't you, about bullying, no messing?
yeah, it's one of our theatre in education pieces. We bring it to schools, so that involves touring it to schools. It's a fully interactive show, so the children have a lot of involvement in it. Yeah, and it's gone down very well over the years. Let's say it gets tweaked and updated. So we've got cyberbullying is a big feature in it now as well. So yeah, we're just kind of rolling that out again now after COVID. Obviously, you don't get to tour anything when you're in lockdowns and restrictions. So we're excited to get it out there, and there's a big need for it. You know, it's very needed. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I suppose what Abigail, like so many of the women who are on tonight, you know, she's not just a writer, she's into drama. You know, so many of the women are multi-talented, and it's just lovely to just be immersed in the richness of the talent that there is in Wexford Women. So welcome.
Well, thank you very much, and I have to say I'm very honoured to have a little scrawl in amongst all these greats here. It's very exciting, and very exciting to be like Laura, and we've said it a few times now, but it is exciting to have both of us in print in the same publication. So, and I have to say, Deirdre, you and Ed are phenomenal human beings. And I see lots of faces I know here and some who've attended our classes years ago. And we yeah, hi Saoirse. Lily was even in with us for a little while. If she remembers, I don't know. Embarrassment. But yeah, no, it's lovely to see. I do know quite a few faces here, at least just to say hello to, and through their work and things. So it is wonderful to see all this being brought together in the publication, and it does feel, I do feel very proud to be a little part of it. And congrats to everybody, because the writing is just beautiful. It's just blown me away. It's amazing. So I guess I have to read mine now. Deirdre, you've put yourself on mute, so I better get reading. Okay. This is called Northern Lights, and it was inspired by something. I have a very bad memory, but I still remember these beautiful skyscapes that I saw. It was over about the course of a week, but there was one very particularly beautiful one. I was driving down from Wells. We do a lot of work in Wells. Driving down from Wells, and just a fantastic sunset, just so unique almost. And then down along a couple of the ring roads there, and these amazing kind of misty atmospheric. So anyway, this is all about that. I'm reading it off my phone. The writing's very small, so forgive me, everybody. Northern Lights. Deep teal tornado skies to one side, and on the other, a lone bright blazing orange streak, striking light into the far reaches, sinking defiantly through baby blue into distant black branches scratched on the fire-mithered horizon line. Blankets of low-hanging, heavily hue-imbued haziness overhead, so close you feel like you could sweep your fingertips through their feathery underbellies. A view that sends child's mind swells of giddiness to tickle the senses. Dense, deliberate fog, trapping light inside it, tricking the eye, consuming fields, then licking along inside ditches till it spills out onto the roadways, fixing its gaze on more dangerous liaisons. Thick, white, cumulus cloud banks, hanging low against cerulean, tantalizing those foolish, small hopefuls with woolly promises of snow, instigating quivers of growing anticipation, knowing it would not deliver. Muted tangerine pink murk-tinted mists emblazoning swathes of shadowy, shallowly elevated space, casting butterfly-inducing teases of twilight magic across the scene. Traffic freezes, embraced by the in-between. The faint, elusive traces known of, but rarely truly seen. The fleeting artistry of day to night. Eat your heart out, Northern Lights. That's it.
Thank you so much, Abigail. I don't know if people are following the comments that are in the chat, but lovely to see so much everybody giving support to each other, and you know, read those comments and be affirmed, everybody. So I don't know if Alanna Hammel has arrived yet.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're here, Alanna. Wonderful. It's great to see you.
You too.
Alanna isn't in this edition, but I wanted her to come in on this launch because Alanna is taking over the editorship of Wexford Bohemian, and we wanted to give it a plug and for all of us to give you support, because Wexford Bohemian is the other magazine, the first magazine which Wally O'Neill produced at Red Books, and Alanna has taken on the editorship of it. So we just want to wish you lots of success with that. And I'm sure that very many of the people who are here today will in the future want to submit to that magazine. I think the next one is due to be out sometime before Easter. Would that be right?
Hopefully, yeah, I hope so anyway.
And you've got all your submissions for that one. So just look out for when there's a next call for submissions. Is that the thing to do, Alanna?
Well, I was only talking to Walter a few hours ago, and we were saying that we may or may not reopen submissions with the way things are going, because it has been such a gap for the last time the submissions were open. So you keep an eye out on social media. The Wexford Women Union does have a platform, but unfortunately, due to everything that's happened in the last year, it hasn't been active for quite a while. But we will have more of a media outlet for it, and we will hopefully reopen a few submissions, start another submissions call, but we do have plenty. Whether we can go on what we already have, we're unsure, but keep an eye out anyway. And of course, we'll have another one out before the end of 2022, I hope so as well.
Okay, so that's another opportunity for you to submit to a different publication. Alanna wanted to talk about Wexford women writers generally for a couple of minutes. So you probably saw Alanna doing lots of contributions to the book shows that were going out from Red Books during lockdown and doing interviews. And so I'm going to hand over to you, Alanna.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, Deirdre, for inviting me to speak on behalf of women Wexford writers and Wexford writers in general this evening. And I'm delighted to be here and be on the press with this beautiful production I have before me. And Deirdre, of course, I think it goes without saying that you yourself are incredible. And a massive claps to you. Only a few weeks ago, I had you on my podcast, and I still think it's one of my favorite interviews that I've done thus far with the answers you gave. It was absolutely ineffable. Congratulations to all those involved, writers, illustrators, and editors. As well as that, publications such as these, I think, again, it goes without saying, would not be possible without Red Books Press. And Red Books Press is, of course, based in Red Books, the bookshop in Wexford Town, and it's run by my beloved cousin, who I'm so proud of, and I tell him this every time I see him. Maybe not every time, most times. I'm so proud of everything he's achieved thus far, including this press. The notion of this small independent publishing press based out of Wexford Town is, I think, an incredible one. And there's something about Wexford Town that makes it so special. This morning I was in Dublin, and I travelled 2 hours to get to Wexford Town to see someone. And it was almost as though I didn't even mind travelling those 2 hours, you know. It didn't matter to me because Wexford was at the end of it, and that was my final destination. And so long as I could be there, I could be anywhere. I'm not from Wexford Town myself. I'm not a townie, I'm a culture, but I have worked in Wexford for 2 years. Now, I may be a checkout girl, so I suppose it's not this kind of creative influence you expect. But even on the checkout, I see talent every single day. I come across so many people and so many influences and creatives that are truly amazing, and I'm just blown away by the talent that this town has to offer. And I feel like the Wexford Bohemian sums that up very well. The Wexford Bohemian was established in 2020, and it's a journal of literature and creativity. And this just goes to show how truly phenomenal this publication is. The first 2 publications sold out within 24 hours, which you can't say about many publications as of recent, or ever for that matter. When you think of the impact of literature journals such as The Sting and Fly and The Moth that are also based in Ireland, we can all already see the potential that Wexford Bohemian has, and to have that big Wexford name on it, I think is just so much potential for us as Wexford people, and for people who might have some sort of a connection to Wexford, just to get our name out there. I remember this is kind of unrelated, but I remember being at a call once, and it was actually based over in America, and Colm Tobin was at it. And I've interviewed him since about Wexford and Wexfordness and Irishness on a whole. But I said to Colm Tobin, what do you think makes us so special as Wexford people? Why do we have this kind of connection? Why is there Wex4? Why are there Wexford writers? Why are we known all over the world? And he talked about our emigration and our immigration, us being beside the sea, being connected to so many other countries as well. But to be honest, at this stage of the game, I'm surprised that the minute someone says Wexford, they don't automatically think writing, just like they automatically think camogie, strawberries, or potatoes. And I would say that with Wexford Bohemian, within the next 50 years, you could easily say, I'm from Wexford. Someone might reply with, oh, are you interested in writing? But I would encourage you all greatly to submit and keep an eye out for announcements or submission guidelines, just as I said. And just a final note, I think it is beautiful that we're having this launch on the centenary of Ulysses, reminding us to celebrate Irish literature and also reminding us how successful Irish writing has been, not just in Ireland, but around the world. Thank you so much, Deirdre, for having me on.
Thank you, Alanna. So, two great magazines coming out of one great publishing house. The next person is Paula Malone Carty on yet. I know she told me that she might be late.
Yeah, I'm here, Deirdre.
Oh, you're here, Paula. That's excellent. So Paula is actually a local professional photographer in Wexford, as well as being a writer. Another one of these multi-talented artistic women that I was talking about earlier. Paula, it's lovely to have you here. Would you like to read something for us?
Thanks, Deirdre. And thanks for all the very hard work that everyone has put into this. And I'm very honoured to be part of it as well. So this poem is called Lockdown, and it was inspired by missing the ocean, I think, during one of our lockdowns where we couldn't go beyond the 5K. So it was kind of stealing time that we weren't supposed to have. So here goes. They steal from their bed as the day dawns, togs and towels amid the yawns, engine hums, ocean calls, across the course, through the maze, to sandy pastures and glistening waves that shimmer like champagne and lures them to engage in chilly waters and frolicking waves. Sunbeams shine on laughing cheeks, a yearning for the past 12 weeks, temporary equipoise, temporary moment, a coveted distance, coveted time, coveted moment. Thank you.
Mitch. Lovely. There's going to be so much written about these last 2 years. It's all bubbling up, isn't it? Thank you.
Thanks.
My next writer is Juliana Menezes. Juliana, are you with us?
Hello.
And Juliana is a Brazilian Irish poet, and you're most welcome, Juliana. I hope I've said your name properly.
Yes, thank you.
Good to have you in this anthology, and over to you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Good evening, everyone. I am quite nervous to be here. I think it was Laura who said about fear and loneliness in writing. So I think I'm the only Brazilian, maybe the only know is native English speaker. I don't know if I am, but anyway, this is a very special moment for me. It's just my second time to be published in English. You all know how difficult it is to have this tool, which is the words, and sometimes in our own language, we find very hard to find the right words to say things that you want to express through poems or prose. And I'm just delighted over the moon that I can continue doing this in English as in Portuguese. I have been living in Ireland for 14 years, and I'm always finding myself struggling a lot with this team, very team balance, to be able to fit in or where to belong, I don't know anymore. So it was a very special moment for me to write, especially for the magazine, these two poems. And like was said here, very luckily to be have chosen the 2 poems that I'm going to share with you now. So I hope you understand my pronunciation of it all, but let's go. The first poem I'm reading is called How to Be. She ran over the foolishness of her shallowest questions, and responses were scarce. She was wavering between sincere certainties and murmurs of restless doubts, and did not know how to be. She disposed of herself then, gradually fading with a forgetfulness of what remained of her. Later, roused as a full version, sown at random of various patches, from the lives she lived, from the days she died, from the dreams she kept. She wanted to sense, but could not remember how. She knew then that her life had gone solo, and a huge peace rose to allay her fears. Nothing more could be done. She slipped a stale smile, and the lips held together in vague eagerness. She halted the peril of crying, forgave her thoughts, desisted from maddening. Now it was just herself and her to look at each other without urgency, to lose their rules and blades along the way. And the second poem, thank you. The second poem is called Settling Abroad, which I'm still trying to do. There are days of compliance, days of feeling light, raw, untangled, moments to visit the inside out. It is awakening and dazing. I noticed feeling the joy of the blowing wind and found myself congruent with the rain and cold, opening myself to accepting the role of everything and imagining if I liked the cold breeze, the frosty garden. I felt some light over my shoulders. I smiled with no purpose upon my face. Being miles from my beloved ones, I approached myself with no discomfort. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Juliana.
Thank you.
And well done. You know, you're in a strange country and a second language, and you've been so open about that, and I think you've kind of epitomized what we hope would come out in this women's magazine. You know, that women would be real, and that they would be vulnerable and be open, and we're really grateful to you for that. So thank you.
Thank you.
I do think when women get together, I don't know what it is, whether they feel safer together and they feel more able to be open about themselves and about their feelings and about their past or about their fears, whatever it is. I think that a women's thing elicits different stuff to what you get generally, and it's just very precious and very valuable, and we just hope that we can contain some of that in this magazine. So thanks for that, Juliana.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now, the daughter of a friend of mine, Saoirse Wadding-Hayes. Saoirse, I did see you earlier, so I know that you're there, and I know that your mum was there.
Hi.
Hello to all of you, and thank you so much for being with us tonight. I suppose this has been one of the benefits of COVID, that you had to come back to and so it, lots of people are benefiting from your presence here, which I know that you hadn't particularly planned. So I hope that you'll stay.
Well, it's looking that way. I actually have beside me, she's jumped out of frame, I have the newest Wexford woman here. This is my friend Micah, who is also an incredible poet and has just moved down from Dublin.
You're welcome, Micah.
Yeah.
So you're going to encourage her and all your other women
I will
to
indeed.
contribute to the next edition.
I will indeed. I will indeed.
So over to you.
Yeah, well, firstly, like, thank you so much for having me. It was a real it was really lovely to get accepted into this publication. I mean, it was a little ego boost as well, just to go, oh, someone wants to publish my poetry. But it was a real it almost felt like a sign for me, kind of. It's been quite difficult the last few years. I know anyone who works in the creative industries knows it's been difficult. And even before that, you know, finding balance, because we're talking about balance, finding balance when you do a creative job, specifically, you know, in the theatre, or I was working as an actor. It's very much very, very, very intense for short periods of time, and then there's nothing, and then it's intense again, and then there's nothing, and it's difficult to build your life that way. You know, and then we got into the period of COVID, where it was kind of the same. The emotion was very intense, and yet there was nothing going on. So it's been a strange time, and I'm not surprised at all that it has sort of brought forth all these creative projects, because we've had a lot of feelings and we've had to deal with them somehow. So I have got 2 poems in this journal, and I'm going to read them both for you now. They're quite short. The first one is a little bit melancholy, and then the second one's a little bit more cheerful. So that'll cheer us up at the end. So this one is called Cleanliness. Today I awoke in filth, as I have done for days. But a pleasant breeze crept in through my window, and as I breathed it in, I thought, no more, no more. I arose, stripped the sheets from my bed, replaced them with a neatly folded set. I took a shower, stood under the spray, felt my muscles relax as I scrubbed the last week from my pores. I deforested my legs, my underarms, my groin, then applied sweet-smelling creams and oils. I combed my hair before twisting it into a sturdy knot and retrieving the vacuum cleaner from the hall. And once the floor was clean and the bed was clean and my clean skin was covered in clean clothes, I filled my body with various kinds of poisons and tried not to think too hard on my intentions towards myself. That's the first one. And the second one is a little bit more lighthearted. It's called Crafting. Life flows from my hands like water, a constant stream of creation tumbling towards the sea, twisting wool into scarves, turning paint into art, putting words onto paper in a sequence that has meaning. The world intervenes, tries to stem the flow, to dam the stream. My stitches they unsew. But still, creation pours from my hands and out to sea, a constant, unstoppable part of me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saoirse, and I want to say thank you to Saoirse, because Saoirse was the victim of one of our mistakes, and
it's all been forgiven.
She just showed such amazing good grace about the fact that there was an extra line attached to the end of her poem that shouldn't be there, and I really appreciated the good grace of that. So thank you, and you were a real example. And I, you know, it's incredibly there's a lot of work involved in putting a magazine together, and there's always a mistake somewhere, and you were the one that suffered from, well, I hope to God it's the only one. If it isn't, I hope that the next person shows the same good grace that you did. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And sure, as I said, there's no point crying over spilled milk, you know. All forgiven, all grand.
The host would like me to unmute. Another mistake. Caroline Stevens Taylor, I'm looking for. Is Caroline here? I think I saw her earlier.
Hi.
Hello, Caroline.
Hi, Deirdre. I'm
It's
here.
good to see you.
You too.
Like no way I'm cry over spilled wine.
Did you want to mute yourself?
Grace, do you want to mute yourself?
Yeah.
Caroline's part of Red Book's writing group in Wexford, and it's probably a good opportunity to say that that's a great hub of writers, isn't it? And where people are hugely encouraging to each other.
Yeah, definitely, and especially for me, joining Red Books was a great outlet for me, you know, to get to know other people and to be brave enough, like somebody said earlier on, to be brave enough to actually put pen to paper. And then when we all met at the meetings in person before COVID, that gave me the confidence then to come on when COVID came, to do the Zoom and to submit some of my stuff. So each time that anything has been accepted and published, it's just been fantastic, you know, and I've been delighted. And without Red Books, none of that would have happened for me at all. So well done to Red Books and for you for doing this one as well.
Yeah, and I'd just like to encourage anybody who, you know, it is a huge encouragement to be part of a writers group, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. It's the best thing I ever did, you know, and I was very nervous going there because I didn't know anybody at all. And walking through the door for the first time, I thought, my God, what am I doing here? You know, I can't write, I don't know anything. And these are all, you know, people who know what they're doing and I haven't got a clue, but I persevered and I kept going, and I'm glad that I did.
Yeah, well, you know, I think writers groups, we encourage each other, we affirm each other, we spark ideas with each other, don't we? And it just and we create a bit of a tribe as well.
I think so, and I think we make each other brave.
So welcome. If you'd like to read some of what you wrote for the magazine, Caroline.
Thank you. I've got two poems. So the first one again is a little bit somber, and the next one is a little bit more light-hearted. So the first one is called Night and Day. The heat rises and slowly ignites a warmth that dances with all that it touches. Wherever it casts and lays, a wash of love helps its growth and soothes its pain like the gentle tenderness of a hug. Hope ignites in those lost in despair, a flicker, perhaps fleeting, but there in the light, a second, a moment, dare it set alight hopes and dreams, those cloaked and taken by the darkness, twisted, damaged, broken. But then, even the night brings wondrous beauty, speckles of light and moon shadows illuminating beauty, tranquility, ripples gently swaying on the water, forward and back, forward and back. All is not lost. Hold on tightly. Wait. Like night and day, sun and moon, the balance can be found in the seeing, the searching, the believing. The next one's called Let's Be, and it's the result of my husband coming in from work, had a very stressful time at work, and I looked at him and he just looked shattered. So this is the result of that. A little off centre, that's what she said I was. I thought I was quite symmetric, quirky perhaps, niche, different and unique. Aren't we all different and unique? Should I be pleased, offended, taken aback? I laugh and take it as a compliment. She is my friend. She admires my courage. So she tells me. Is that what it is, courage? Some would call it stupid, foolhardy, irresponsible. But then I look at him. He works so hard in a job that he hates, and he does so for us. But the family has grown now. We can be free from the toil. Why wait? Another 6 years and we could be dead. Let's do it now, I say. Throw caution to the wind. Sell it all, lock, stock and barrel. Let's liberate ourselves from the chains of the daily grind. The world is waiting for us. This work-life balance isn't equal or symmetric. It's time to tip the scales the other way and throw in the towel. Getting old is a privilege denied to many, so Twain said. Let's do it. Let's go and unlock the chains that keep us here. Let's be like Christopher Columbus and discover the world. Let's be proud to be off centre. Let's be brave and do it. Let's not deny ourselves the balance.
Wonderful, and you did it, didn't you?
We did. We did. We sold up lock, stock and barrel. The intention was actually to head to France for a while, but then we discovered he needed a bypass. So we're still in Ireland, but we're up in the Lake Lands now, and we're semi-retired and we're loving it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I've got on mute. I've got one more person on my list to read, Teresa Jones. If there's, I put out a call and I said, I need volunteers for tonight, and I made a list, and I think that I will have called everybody who was on that list. Now, if I've made a mistake, and as you now know, I do make mistakes, and you're here and you're expecting to read, I apologise, and please make yourself known at this point so that you don't miss out on the opportunity to read. I know Ursula's going to sing. I saw her hand go up. Is there anybody else other than Teresa Jones who was thinking they were going to read today and I not called them? I think we've got everybody then. Okay, that's brilliant. So I'm going to call on Teresa, and Teresa was one of our, is Teresa here?
I am. Hi, thank you.
Great. Teresa was one of our contributors who sent us a beautiful image to illustrate her poem, and we really appreciated that. So thank you, Teresa. There were several people who sent illustrations with their poetry, and that's great to receive the combination. So it's over to you, Teresa, and thank you.
Thanks very much.
Your
very
background.
kind. Oh, thank you. That's from the cover. I published my first poetry collection just over a year ago. So that's from the cover, and I just, it's my cousin's photo in Laytown, and I adore it. So I use it as my cover, and it also covers up the mess behind it, which is quite handy. You know, you don't have to tidy. You don't have to tidy when you have a background. So thank you. So on the theme of balance, I was trying to, you know, the internal struggle between the person you are at work and the person you are really, and it's that all through your whole life, the efforts you try and make in order to belong. to maintain that balance internally. So it's called The Colours of Belonging. I am a stained glass window, a light with a smile, the illusion of wholeness. Coloured broken shards welded together with resilience. Blues, reds, yellows, greens of life's struggles to conform, fit the version of someone else's normal. Serve endless years of school, endure stages of teenage rebellion. Discover that music combined or divide in the search to find a community, a sense of belonging. Navigate the social jungle with personality profiling, team building, corporate personality tests. A window to the real you, serve to isolate, confirm the reality of difference, and celebrate the individual. Defined in colours, employees hide in corporate silence from angry reds, appease blues with facts and detail, tread carefully around greens to avoid offence, bond with other yellows, so few and so familiar, so creative. Learn to conform, network, connect, add value, be more productive, be more effective, and enhance the culture of the business family. Prove you're worthy, you belong, survive. Eventually learn to love oneself before the appeasement of others. Broken shards welded together by resolve, shone through with a smile to light the colours of life, the illusion of wholeness. That's it.
That's beautiful, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you. And I haven't seen any other people saying that they were going to read it. Now, there is a comment that probably a good idea to draw attention to. And it's come from Saoirse's mother, Deirdre Wadding. And it's probably something, and I'll add something to it. We'd love to see you all at the next Wexford Arts Hub Poetry event with special guest Welsh poet Dominic Williams, Thursday the 17th of February, 7:30 p.m, open mic section where you're all welcome to read in Creative Hub, Malone Street. Haven't created event yet, but taking this opportunity to let you all know it's in the ether. So it reminds me that we're hoping at Red Books to begin an open mic, and Deirdre, we're hoping that we are going to have it in the in-between time. I think you normally have yours at the end, your normal time is at the end of the month. So Red Books is hoping to do an open mic in the middle of the month. So watch out for that as well. So there'll probably be 2 open mics on the go in Wexford for people who want to have the opportunity to read to others or recite their stuff to others. We're just trying at Red Books to fix our venue, but it'll be published on Red Books. So thanks for that, Deirdre. And hopefully we'll be a group of people who'll support each other. That's great. I'm going to finish with a little poem of my own, and then I'm going to ask Ursula to sing. So let me just had it open at the right page, and now I've lost it. One second. So this is called Natural Disasters. I want to stop feeling heaven and hell in my emotions, feeling shuddered to rock shattering, feeling tsunamied off my beach, feeling avalanched off my mountainside, feeling volcanoed out of my routine, feeling earthquaked in my high-rise city and typhooned in my quiet fishing village. But these are only natural disasters, you say, so why are you reacting so badly? Put out an appeal for help. Life goes on. A few casualties, but life goes on. Thank you. And I'm now going to hand over to Ursula, who's going to sing, I think it's a Tori Amos song, and the words seem very appropriate to our theme. and Ursula's going to end our evening. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Thank you to all our amazing contributors and all of your performances. Thank you for all the support that you've been giving each other on the chat. It's so valuable and so necessary, and particularly so, I think, for women, that we keep encouraging each other and keep affirming each other, and we'll all grow into the people that we're meant to be. So over to the wonderful Ursula in that incredible scene that she sat in, and sing for us, please.
Thanks, Deirdre, and thanks everyone for reading. It was absolutely amazing. I'm really blown away. I'm just gonna share my computer sound. Let me know that you can still hear me. I'm technically muting my mic, but you can still hear me now, but in a different way. Okay, I'm usually used to singing on my Twitch channel, so this is a little bit different. The sound isn't like ideally what I like, but it's all right. So here we go. And yeah, Tori Amos is a feminist, kind of icon. So she's actually playing in Ireland next month. So if you do get to see her, yeah, highly recommend her. This house is like Russia, with eyes cold and gray. You got me moving in a circle. I dyed my hair red today. I just want a little passion to hold me in the dark. I know I've got some magic buried deep in my heart, yeah. But my priest says you ain't saving no souls. My father says you ain't making any money. My doctor said you just took it to the limit. And here I stand with this sword in my hand. You can say it one more time. What you don't like, let me hear it one more time then. Have a seat while I take to the sky. Take to the sky. My heart is like the ocean, it gets in the way. So close to touching freedom, then I hear the gods call my name. When my priest says you ain't saving no souls, my father says you ain't making any money. My doctor said you just took it to the limit. When here I stand with this sword in my hand, you can say it one more time. What you don't like, let me hear it one more time then. Have a seat while I take to the sky. Take to the sky. Well, if you don't like me just a little, well, why do you hang around? Well, if you don't like me just a little, well, why do you hang around? Well, if you don't like me just a little, well, why do you take it, take it, take it, take it, take it? Yeah. This house is like Russia. You can say it one more time. You can say Take to the sky, take to the sky, take to the sky, gonna take to the sky. That is that. I'll just imagine the
That's a beautiful ending to our night. Now, this is, I think the next time you're going to see Ursula should probably be in St. Peter's Square, rocking it. I'm so glad that you've decided to make your life more artistic.
Yeah, I'm done with the rat race as well. I totally get that vibe.
So well done. Well done to everybody, and thank you all so much for everything that you've done in making this so special. I hope you've all enjoyed the event, and the next thing you've got to do is persuade all your friends to buy one of these magazines. So thank you so much, and you can buy them online at I think Wally might put it up in the chat exactly what the connection is to buy online. Yeah, it looks like it's coming on. Is it Irish Books? www.theirishbookshop.com if you want to buy this or anything else online from Wally's amazing store. I'm going to say good night to everybody now. Give yourselves a big round of applause, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Night, Deirdre. Thank you. That was amazing.
Well done, everybody.
Well done.
Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Well done, everyone. Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.